Вторую часть нашего пленарного заседания откроет профессор Института образования Лондонского университета Крис Уильямс. Тема его доклада «Проблемы управления качеством в образовании Великобритании».
Thank you very much for the chance to come to your beautiful city and your library. I'm asked to talk about quality in Britain, in European Union, and in the world. And of course, we all know that the definition of quality, excellence, innovation, creativity, and of course, economic benefits. But inside universities, I think, as we all know, the reality is a little different. We see quality as bureaucracy, as too many regulations, and often as having no benefit for students. In fact, sometimes it makes things worse for students. So how do we try and understand that? Obviously, therefore, there are some good things and some bad things, and we have to be honest about the goods and the bads about quality. Let's start with Britain, then. It's not necessary to go school, undergraduate, master's, PhD very, very quickly. You can start university anytime. In fact, I'm very strange. My first degree is in fact a PhD because my first training was in a music college. So I have a music diploma and then I changed my mind and became academic. And that's possible. There's no problem about doing that. So this mess, it's diverse and also experimental. We see the sorts of things that can be done in some schools because the head teachers or the heads of colleges can take their initiative and experiment. So the mess equals the positive flexibility. The bad thing has created the good thing. Here's one little example. Our education law says that children must be educated at school or otherwise. The word otherwise was put there so that the royal family and rich people could send their children to very elite private schools or educate them at home. So that one word was really for the kings and the queens. But since then, that one word, otherwise, permits hundreds of different things to happen. In law, children can be educated at home by their parents. Children can be educated in music schools, in ballet schools. We have lots of religious schools, for example. Any type of education that can demonstrate the child is being educated is legal. So we've taken an old law for our kings and queens and turned it into something that's good for all of us. So the process is used in a bad way. Very quickly, I'll give you some examples. In the process, we talk, of course, about quality assurance. Governments, particularly in Britain, make this into league tables. You rank the universities. And this becomes very stupid, because we have a university like Oxford University, which is compared with a college for teaching jewellery making. London is very good for jewellery making. It's big business now. It's a very, very good college. But they are both compared on the same criteria of how much money do they spend on the library. Now, Oxford spends more money on its library than a college of jewellery making. It has more money to spend, and so on. So this is a completely unfair way to compare. Mobility, the Bologna process talks about mobility, and of course then we have our governments making all these visa restrictions, and Britain is the worst. Our visa restrictions at the moment are very bad. We are telling our government about this constantly. So our government is taking the process and turning it completely inside out with its policy and doing something that's not intended. Curriculum. Because of the things like PISA testing, it becomes exams, exams, exams. Young children are tested, 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 tested. And this, of course, directs the way that the teachers teach. The teachers are now teaching towards the exams. This is not what Bologna wanted, but it's the way that the governments have used it. So, I think the Bologna process is okay. It does what it should do. It's minimal. It's non-interventionist, it assists EU-wide administration, it doesn't stop creativity, it doesn't get in the way. But it does not stop governments and other people to misuse its ideas. It can't regulate how the governments make use of it. And in the world scale, let's look at the UN for some guidance and use UNESCO. Two big challenges. One is, I think, to link school education and higher education in our quality system. You know, all our quality systems go this way. Think about it. What do our students do? Our students go this way, through a system. The only people who really know the quality of a whole education system is a student. And that takes 15 years. We have no mechanism going right the way through the whole system. And then the final point, of course, is let's make sure our idea of quality is not political, but it's cultural. It comes from the people, our heritage, and our history. Where would we do this? How would we do it? Well, you know, we're in this beautiful library. Think of how a library works. Young people come, old people come, academics come, everybody comes in here. The idea of quality is consistent, and of course it's all based around culture. You have books, you have cultural presentations, arts, and so on. A library is an interesting model about cultural consistency.
Спасибо, спасибо.